Hey there! Today I wanted to create a pause menu in Godot 4 in which you can exit to the menu and save because you requested it. With that said, let's just jump into it. So here I have a basic template. I created a main menu based on my previous tutorial. I created a default scene with a platform and a player that just uses the default built-in platformer movement. I didn't change anything about this script. And we also have a global script which contains a really simple save function, and also it loads the data when the game is launched. And we also have a wipe function which gets called when we press the delete save button in the menu. Alright, so if we play the game in its current state, we can press play and it launches the game and everything, but if we just exit the game, play it again, and hit play again, as you can see, it didn't save anything, and that is because we haven't called the save function anywhere yet. So let's get into it. I am going to add a node 2D under this main scene, and I'm going to call it pause menu. And under this node, I'm going to center it. So I checked the resolution already, and 576 and 324 should center it perfectly. There we go. And I am going to add a VBox container under it, set it to the center. And in this VBox container, I am going to add two buttons. And there we go. And I am just going to write save and exit on them. Okay, so it's neatly centered, everything is good. If we just launch the game now, you can see that these buttons are there, they can be pressed, but nothing really happens if you press them. Obviously we didn't code anything, and also they are just constantly there, and I only want these buttons to appear when the game is paused. So let's get to work coding that. I am going to attach a script to the root node, and in the script under the process function I am going to check if the escape key is pressed. I have already is action just pressed. I have already, as you can see, added this input, the escape input, but the way you can do that is going to project settings, input map, typing here something like escape and adding it, and then here just pressing the escape button on your key and OK. And as you can see, that added a new escape input, but I'm just going to delete that since we already have this. Okay, and if it is pressed, I want to pause the game, but not just pause the game, because if the game is already paused, I want to unpause it. So the way we can do that is get tree dot paused, very convenient, equals to not get tree dot paused. This not basically just inverts this variable. So if it is true, then it will be false, then and if it is false, then it will be true. Okay. Now let's check out our game. Let's launch it. If we press the escape key now, then the game pauses, which is excellent. But if we press the escape key again, then the game doesn't unpause, it just freezes. Why is that? Well, because we paused the game, we paused every node in this scene, which includes our root node. So that means that because we paused it, it doesn't execute anything in this script, and that means that it can't unpause itself. So the way we can change that is by going here, going to this process in the inspector tab, going to the process tab and setting it to always. So that means that it's going to run, it's going to be unpaused no matter what. So now if we press escape again, then nothing happens. Things seem to have gotten worse, but trust me, they are getting better. So, why is that? Well, if we go to our player and check this little process window, as you can see, its mode is set to inherit, so that means that it inherits this mode property of its parent, and because we set this to always, it's as if this player is always active. So we need to change that from inherit to pausable. So now this should work correctly. As you can see, it paused our player, and then if I press escape, it unpauses our player. Okay, now let's work on the menu itself. So first off, obviously I want the menu to be available, to be accessible when we pause the game, so I need to change the process here from inherit to always. But actually inherit is fine because, you know, it inherits this always. It doesn't matter. Okay. If I press escape, I want to make this pause menu appear. But if I unpause, I want to make it disappear. So what we can do is similar to how we paused the game. I can just say that pause menu dot visible, not visible, equals not pause menu dot visible, and I'll just disable the visibility right there. So now if I pause, then nothing happens. Oh, not VBox container, just pause menu. There we go. It nicely becomes visible if I pause, and then if I unpause, then it disappears. But if I press these buttons, nothing happens yet. So let's go ahead and code them. This will be very simple. If I press this button, which I'll just quickly rename to save, and I'll also rename the other button to exit. So if I just, I'll just connect this pressed signal. So if I press the save button, I obviously want to save. The way I do that is going global.save data, and I'll just do the same with the exit, but instead of saving, I'll just quit to the menu. So global.change, not global, sorry, get3 dot change scene to file, and then the menu dot tscn. Okay, and also just one more thing. Obviously we saved this position here in the global tree, but this position variable doesn't change at all because this is separate. This is a separate variable from the player's position. So what we need to do is just here, before we save the data, we want to set the position variable in the global script to the position of our player. And also just one more thing, as you can see here in the player, I lied actually, because I did change the script. I added these two lines. When the game loads, or when this scene loads, then the player's position should be set to the position variable in the global script. So let's go ahead and check out our game. I'll just launch it, and let's delete save for good measure. Play it, and I forgot to reset the visibility. There we go. Let's play it. As you can see right now, we can move correctly. If I pause the game, I can exit, and if I play again, then nothing happens. This is a very important thing. Why does nothing happen? That's because the game is paused still. if on exit press I first need to unpause the game. So get 3.paused equals false. So now if I press exit just regularly, I exited the game menu, and if I press play again, it didn't save. But if I pause and save again and then exit and again click play, it saved the position. So there you go, that was my tutorial. I hope it was helpful and understandable. If you liked this video, then please like and subscribe, and consider supporting me on Patreon. It really helps a ton. Goodbye and take care.